It's week number 4 of Sun Belt Conference basketball, and today we've got men's action for you inside the Atlantic Union Bank Center, where the Dukes of James Madison will square off against the Marshall Thundering Herd for the second time in about a week, as we have the Sun Belt clash here this evening. The Thundering Herd at 10-8 overall, 3-2 in the conference. The Dukes 9-8 and 2-3 in conference play. Hello, everyone. He is Steve Buckhands, James Madison alumnus and former play-by-play voice for the Washington Wizards. I'm Kurt Dudley, and David Halvey also is hanging out with us here this evening. Glad you are as well. Well, last Thursday, these two teams met over in West Virginia. They've come back here to battle each other in Harrisonburg. James Madison, a difficult loss on Saturday. What about tonight's game, Steve?
You know, neither team has won on the road, Kurt. We know that. So for Marshall, it's another excellent opportunity. And if they play like they did against Madison last week, they got a shot at it. They made 13 threes in that game, hitting 54% of their three-point shots, and they've been doing that the last couple of games. So the Dukes have to be wary of that. As you said, Madison just needs to get that last game, get the taste out of their mouth. They were blown out in Boone by App State. I'm looking for a much better game. You know, Mark Freeman has been on fire. He had 31 against Marshall. So we'll see what happens tonight. I look for a much better effort tonight by the Dukes.
Been pretty steady has this transfer for James Madison in Elijah Hutchins Everett, coming in from Seton Hall, really back on track with where he was a couple of years ago at Austin Peay.
Yeah, the big 6'11" center was more like himself at App State a week ago. He had 19 points and 9 rebounds and 2 blocks. But at Marshall, he took just 6 shots. He did have 4 offensive rebounds, but he's been in double figures in all but 4 games this year. I would expect a real good battle with the Herd's big man, Nate Martin. You know, Martin coming off a monster game against Georgia Southern last Saturday in Huntington. 18 points, 13 rebounds, 4 blocks. He went 6 of 7 from the field. He only had 7 points against the Dukes, but he really didn't need his scoring because they had other guys that did the job. And they get Obina Anachili-Killen back tonight, which is huge for Marshall. So there's a lot of talent on both these squads. I think it should be a terrific game.
Yeah, speaking of Obina and Anachili-Killen, he went out in the second half in this game last week in Marshall, or at Marshall rather. Did not play on Saturday. They held him out. They won pretty handily on the at home, and now they come on the road with this 0-6 record as well. So both these teams, interestingly enough, have not won away from home unless it's a neutral site game for James Madison. That's the case, at least, for the Dukes.
Yeah, I know they're looking forward to getting Anachili-Killen back. He only had 3 points and a rebound against the Dukes. And, you know, he's one of the top shot blockers in the nation. He's ranked 17th in the nation, getting over 2 blocks per game. And you talked about the 0-for mark by both these teams on the road. Last time the Dukes didn't win in 6 games on the road was back in 2006, 2007. So, you know, they don't have to worry about it here tonight. But meantime, Marshall is 0-6 on the road, too. So they're looking for a road win tonight.
A little bit more on that as we do welcome in the third member of our broadcast team here tonight, David Halvey. Good evening, David.
Kurt, and I think familiar is the word we're going to use for tonight. It was just 7 days ago that these two sides faced off, and a very narrow win for Marshall, 80-78 in Huntington. But tonight, it's about avenging that loss for JMU. Head coach Preston Spradlin said they get a chance to fix the mistakes they made and fix them fast. Now on the side for Marshall, it's about fixing the road woes. They are 0-6 away from home this season, and head coach Corny Jackson said that when you look at last week, they're going to have to do everything they did 10 times better if they want the same victory.
It's also interesting, you know, after last week where Jalen Spear just went off, he was 7 for 7 on 3-pointers as the first 3-pointer is launched by James Madison's Mark Freeman. And this is what you like to see from Marshall. They get out and run, and a blocking foul called early on here as the Dukes trying to get back in transition. The foul is called against Xavier Brown. And that's the first foul of the ball game. Steve, what do you think?
I think he had pretty good position, and he's out of the circle. So that looked like a charge to me.
Well, again, Marshall will try to get up the field. They'll get up the pitch very quickly in terms of both defensive transition and offensive transition. You saw it try to occur right there. The screen is given for Michael Dawson, who is the leading scorer, and he is called for a charge. Our officials, by the way, today, the Chief Justice today is Jason Baker on this court. Michael Wallace and Ron Taberski are the other two to make up the officiating crew.
Yeah, Dawson charged with the player control foul. and he's played well on the road.
The Dukes have just made a mental mistake as Eddie Ricks left his post. He tried to run the baseline. He had to stay stationary.
Absolutely. You can't, only after a shot can you run. And that's a turnover, and that's something that Madison really has to work on, Kurt, because turnovers have really hurt them the last 2 games, especially in this game against Marshall last week. They had 13 turnovers, 9 in the first half, and they only had 5 assists in that game. That was a season low, so you got to look for a much better performance here tonight.
Starting lineup for James Madison under first-year head coach Preston Spradlin. It's presented to you by Atlantic Union Bank as that shot is missed. A defensive rebound for the visitors.
Yeah,
Freeman, Brown, Ricks III, Smith, and Hutchins Everett on the court for the Dukes.
And A.J. Smith is down. He went down and attempting to get that rebound. And he is maybe the most physical player on this team. And they can ill afford to use him. And so he's got to come out right now. And for Dukes fans, hopefully he's okay. They'll get Noah Williams into the game. But it's good to see him run off the court on his own. But here's a look at what happened. Of course, Smith was the guy that was called for the last-second foul last week in Huntington, which enabled Marshall to get that victory.
Kick out there for Dawson off the back of the iron. Long rebound comes out. Reloading at Spear. So he hits all 7 last Thursday. Misses his first shot here tonight. Flipped up the circus try and hard off the glass comes down to Xavier Brown. Dukes in these gold uniforms here tonight. Quite the contrast with the green of the Marshall Thundering Herd. Noah Williams on the court early with the injury.
A good screen and the foul.
So Noah Williams steps off the court and gives the Dukes their first bucket of the evening, and that ties us up at 2 apiece. And the foul. Anna Chili Killen picks up the foul. That's the first team foul against, or his first foul, second team foul. There was the charge earlier. And we will see Noah Williams go to the free throw line, a 56% shooter.
He's 5 of 9 on the season, experiencing his first small role of his collegiate career. He played at Washington State and Washington.
Here's the starting 5 for Coach Corny Jackson and the Marshall Thundering Herd. Mingo. And here goes Freeman with his first 2 of the night. Mark Freeman, a couple of 30-point games here recently, including last Thursday, the JMU career high 31. This is his first season at James Madison. They literally like to whip that ball around, does Marshall. He wants it humming, does Coach Jackson.
Wow. Boy, Martin set some really physical screens. Nice move, but they're going to call him for traveling.
An extra step in there for Martin. And the second turnover in the early going for the Thundering Herd, and a quick substitution for the Herd. Coming in is Ryan Nutter, a part-time starter. This is his 19th game. He started 11 thus far this year, 4.7 points, nearly a couple of rebounds and a couple of assists coming off the bench here most recently.
Yeah, had 2 points against JMU, had 3 in their win over Georgia Southern. They blew out Georgia Southern the other day. Just a monster game.
That was without Achille Chillin, and Achille Chillin. And there's the shot by 0 as Freeman cannot connect. Spear lofts it to the right corner. Martin comes out high. Look at the collisions. They're all over the court already.
Ran into his own man and nearly traveled.
Spear finds a little space to work, misses well off the mark, and it bounds into the hands of Hutchins Everett.
That's something Spear didn't do the last time they played. He made all 7 of his threes.
Ball swatted away, and Achille Chillin gets to it this time.
Freeman ran into the back of Nate Martin, and that's like running into a condominium. And they're going to call Freeman for a foul.
Foul is on Mark Freeman. That's his first, team foul number 2. And we'll see coming into the lineup Bryce Lindsey, who at one point was leading the Dukes in scoring, but he has been surpassed by Mark Freeman as we take a look at Preston Spradlin in his first season at James Madison, looking for career win number 150. as he spent time at Morehead State.
Very successful coach there, obviously. Ooh, nearly a travel, and they did call him for it.
And a Chili Killen call for the travel, a couple of extra steps already posted against the Herd.
You know, Lindsey has been that guy that's been able to hit some big time outside shots. You see Cornelius Jackson, the head man at Marshall. But Lindsey went 1 for 6 at App State the other night, so he's still looking to find his range again.
His number of shots have actually declined here most recently because most teams are scouting him. He's been at the top of their charts as he gets fouled by Spear.
Yeah, Spear
and that's the
got
first
him.
on Spear.
Yep.
But he has been the main topic of discussion in most scouting sessions, so his shots have not been quite as regular for him, as you see Freeman with the nifty self-assist, if you would. Timeout on the floor. A low-scoring game, 4-2 JMU.
So we're down 34-0. Winning will be tough. That's why I brought in the ease specialist.
Right. Geico makes car insurance easy. With the Geico app, you can check your policy on the go and get access to 24/7 claim support.
Yeah! Let's make this easy!
You know, that felt a lot closer.
For car insurance made easy, get more with Geico.
Wow, este mundo es tan absolutamente maravilloso. Tenemos que salvar este planeta. Salvarlo de los miedosos con ojos inocentes que solo aman el bajo riesgo y no son lo suficientemente valientes para lanzarse a lo que nunca se ha hecho antes. Dile hola al muscle car más poderoso del mundo. El mundo nunca ha visto una fuerza como esta. Cuando se trata de salvar el planeta, lo hacemos a nuestra manera.
Tonight's game is presented to you by the JMU MBA program. The JMU MBA program is a proud partner of JMU Athletics. Early on, the accounting is pretty simple. 4-2 James Madison. Good number of fouls called here in the early stretch too, Steve. Spread out.
And there have been some mistakes and some turnovers. Marshall's got a couple of them. The Dukes don't have any yet, and that's a good sign for them because that really has hurt them the last couple of games.
They actually should have one recorded. It was on that movement on the baseline.
That's a good point. Great tip in.
Tapped in. Hutchins Everett scores the bucket. He averages 12 points a game for the Dukes, also pulls in 6.1 rebounds per contest, and gives James Madison the 4-point advantage. On the floor now, running that operation at the front is Mingo, with Brown on him. Back on the floor for the Dukes, A.J. Smith. Martin collides, holding his ground. 2-1, and that should be a shot clock violation, and that is indeed the case, as Dawson couldn't launch it.
So the Dukes force yet another turnover, which is both teams playing some really good defense right now. The scoring hasn't happened, but that was exceptional against James Madison because Marshall is so good at setting screens, which is one of the reasons that they've been able to hit so many threes. And that's kind of unusual because they went into that game against JMU not hitting their threes, only like 26% or 28%. But in the last couple of games, they've been on fire from long range.
Well, as Coach Jackson says, and of course you could say this, any coach can say this, if you're shooting well, you can hang with anybody, right? That kind of goes without saying.
And of course nowadays everybody likes to shoot the three-point shot. There's a little bump there, no call.
Yeah, Noah going up. Williams on the outlet, Jacob Gibbs. Gibbs, one of 3 triplets, 2 of them on this squad. The other is Cade Gibbs, who had the winning free throws last Thursday. They're the identical twins. They have a triplet who is a fraternal, which you don't find out about that very often.
Third twin brother,
so to speak.
They're all really brilliant. They had their MBAs, and they came to Marshall with college credits out of high school.
Working on another degree as they were at Grace College initially. And then the third member, who's not on this club, is actually in law school at Notre Dame. They must like green.
And it fits them well. A.J. Smith back in the game for JMU, and that's a good sign for Dukes fans.
Bryce Lindsey hands it off to Freeman, who's right now 17th in the league in scoring. He's been moving up that most recently. Sliding through, that was partially deflected by Jacob Gibbs. Tumbles out of bounds. Last touch apparently by the Dukes.
I didn't. If Gibbs blocked the shot, I don't know how it's Marshall ball, but there was some contact there as well. But that was a pretty wild shot. He needs to be passing the ball around.
Eddie Ricks III steps back to the court for James Madison. Elevating and missing the shot. Mingo, another recycling of the shot clock. Stolen away and a foul.
Yep.
Cade Gibbs has his first.
The Dukes are one of the better teams in the country at limiting offensive rebounds. They hold their opponents to just 8 offensive rebounds a game. That's 17th best rate in the nation. And so you can see them battling here against Marshall, who is an excellent rebounding team, especially with guys like Martin and Anachili Killen in there.
That takes physicality, takes toughness to do that. That has been, that particular measure has been on the radar for Coach Preston Spradlin and his coaching staff all season for JMU. Hutchins Everett will step out and try the three. And the foul called against James Madison's Eddie Ricks as he was battling down low with Gibbs.
Yeah, terrific box out.
His first, team's third.
See, just Ricks doing an, make that Gibbs rather. Excellent job of just boxing it out. Catch and shoot and good. Jalen Spear hits his first tray of the night. 33 on the season. He shoots with 35% accuracy.
Yeah, he had 27 points against the Dukes. He was 9 of 13 from the field, and he made all 7 of his three-pointers.
He is the only player in the country in men's college basketball at the D1 level this year to make all 7 three-point shots.
That's an incredible stat. Good defense, knocked away.
Ricks bumped and finishes through the contact.
Man, they're letting them play. There's a lot of contact on both ends, and the officials are letting them all play.
That gives James Madison an 8-5 advantage. Here's Martin. Here's the big men we talked about early on as he wants to bump a little bit with Hutchins Everett. Gets it out to Spear. And Freeman was there, tapped away. Bodies falling on the floor. They continue to play on. The open man in the right corner. Flat off the iron. Weak side rebound comes to Martin. Setting, firing. In and out she goes. And a loose ball picked up. Lindsey had a lane, but Martin steps out in front.
Pass was about a half a second too late.
Martin with a long stride gets out there with that frame at 6'8", the senior from Houston, Texas. Back we go the other way. Behind the back, flips it up, won't tumble in, but he'll go to the free throw line. Will Mark Freeman.
They called it on Spear. Freeman made a nice move to go behind his back. He had a feeling contact was coming, couldn't quite make the basket. But look at this nifty move on the ball handling, and then Spear gets him.
That's kind of a reverse crossover in that case, and it got him really betwixt in between for Spear, and that is a foul number 2 against Spear, who remains on the court.
That's huge. That's huge. And it was interesting to watch Freeman on the way down. He knew he had to do something, and he made a nice move. 77% free throw shooter.
He just surpassed in the last ball game 1,500 career points. And he also has over 500 career assists.
Wow.
So he is in some rare air with his numbers thus far.
Ebenezer Dewanu has checked into the game for JMU.
Second good for Freeman. He has 4 points.
Also, Justin Taylor from Charlottesville is in the game.
The switch off up front was James Madison defensively. That's kicked.
That's good defense by the Dukes because it forced the errant pass.
Got him really high up in that zone, and he just kicked the ball out of bounds.
A little full court pressure from Ryan Nutter.
Freeman brings it across the timeline. He's got Taylor, body down for Marshall, floating it up, and going to get it, Dawana.
He got up in the air. I'm not sure he knew what he was going to do with it, shoot or pass, but it worked out just fine.
It looked like it was a set play, but I'm not so sure it wasn't just ad lib. Martin grabs the long board. He's got Dawana on him. Dawana can reject some shots. Shot clock at 14, beating and banging. Too strong. Ball comes out into Taylor's hands.
Wow, that's some physical stuff in that paint.
Freeman wanted to run, but he had to hold up as Marshall did get back very nicely on the transition defense. Now they'll settle into the half court. Leaving up for Dawana again. That was by design.
And it was perfectly executed.
Dukes up by 9. And a foul is called against James Madison's Justin Taylor, his first. And that sends us to a media timeout. Dawana comes off the bench, gets a couple of lofts and flushes them both down. Timeouts. Back with more on ESPN Plus. Sunbelt Men's Basketball.
We all have our own happy place. Whatever works for you. We're not judging. In fact, we think banking should also be done your way and stress-free with someone you trust to take the stress out of banking. Any way you bank.
We've made it way easier than you think.
Atlantic Union Bank.
Low Fiber is proud to support the JMU Dukes. And with gig speeds, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet. And your first month of internet free. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today. Faster, better fiber internet. Now that's Glow Fiber. Go Dukes!
Welcome back, everyone, to the Atlantic Union Bank Center. James Madison out in front, 14-5. He's a homegrown player, Michael Dawson. Let's get a little bit more detail on this young man from our own David Hulvey.
Well, when you talk about instant transfers, guys that have made an immediate impact, look no further than Mike Dawson from Marshall. Dawson, a hometown kid from Huntington, West Virginia, but he spent his first 5 seasons with the University of Akron. But you look at his production, he never averaged over 5 points a game at Akron. Now he's averaging 13 a game. When talking about making this move, he said, I get to see most of my family members and friends that didn't get to see me when I was in Akron. And it's been such a good surprise and just such a good transition between everybody, teammates and coaches. And you see what he means to this program. He's become one of the big-time leaders as well for the Thundering Herd.
15th in the league in scoring, number 5 in three-point percent shooting. Also ranks 3rd in three-pointers per game at 2.7, and on cue he drops that one in for his first tray of the night. That's 50 on the year.
They called it
was it a 2?
Yeah,
okay,
his foot
thank
was
you,
on
Steve.
the line.
Gotcha.
They've only made 1 of 10 three-pointers so far, but they're happy
Always
to
a
jack
danger.
them up. Yep.
Martin tries to hold his pivot foot. He does. Gives back out. Foul on the way up, they say. It goes against Bryce Lindsey of James Madison, and Achille Killen will go to the free throw line where he shoots at 69%. He gets there quite often, 66 out of 95.
Dukes have done a nice job in forcing turnovers. They forced 8 of them so far and capitalized on that. They've scored 8 points off of those Marshall mistakes.
And Achille Killen with the first point of the night.
Missed the game against Georgia Southern. They really didn't need him, obviously. They blew out Georgia Southern 81-66. He's in his 5th year at Marshall, and he's a regular starter now. 122 of 135 games played that he's started.
Ricks can run the baseline this time. Freeman going up against Nutter, gets it across the midcourt stripe. Quick handoff up front. Here's Brown going to work, spins, draws some attention. Ricks didn't know where to go with it, and saving it here right in front of our location. A.J. Smith, 8 to shoot, reverses it back in, and there's Dewana again off the glass this time, or off the carom.
Wow, he has been just a fierce competitor in the air.
That's a hard foul on Eddie Ricks. That's his 2nd.
Yeah, and that's going to send Dawson to the line for 3.
He's just kind of switched the ball from one hand to the other, but there Dawson was to clean things up. He has 6 points, all of them right there at the rim. Dawson will shoot 3.
87% from the line. And as we mentioned, in 6 road games this year, and of course Marshall hasn't won on the road, neither have the Dukes. He is averaging over 16 points a game in those 6 road games.
Last week against JMU, 7 for 6 from the field, 3 of 5 on 3-pointers, and 8 rebounds.
Yeah, had 17 points against JMU. Jacob Gibbs.
Also on the floor, by the way, Wyatt Fricks, a junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia, making his 18th appearance for the Thundering Herd. He wears number 2.
Hutchins Everett back in the lineup for JMU. Again, Nutter with some full court pressure.
Here's Williams back on the floor for the Dukes. Inside, Hutchins Everett, a lot of green around him.
Boy.
Not a bad shot.
No, I like the footwork. And those are the kind you got to knock down.
Nutter skips it over left side. Fricks, little ball rip, nothing there for him. Gibbs, Williams out, bothering him. That was off the back of Freeman. Taps it to himself again. Here goes Freeman. Flips it up a little too strong. And Hutchins Everett saves it off Dawson. Quite the hustle play by the big man.
Yeah, it really was. Smart play. Boy, there's so much contact in this game. It's interesting to watch and see how the officials are calling it or not calling it.
Now, this is like a NASCAR race. They're rubbing in there. It's a wonder. It's a wonder you don't have a little green on gold or gold on green, as much contact as there is out there.
I think I saw some drafting a minute ago.
Well, there has been a bit of that.
Great
and
inbounds.
Easy too.
Terrific inbounds play by the Dukes.
James Madison with a 7-point advantage.
Man, these screens are wild.
They are. There is a lot of resistance going on. Plenty of friction. Lofting. Just a little bit of space. Dawson fires it up.
Had 21 in their last game. That's his 5th game this season with 20 or more points.
Down low. Patience. Bucket.
Yeah, good point, Kurt. He waited for the defender to fly by him. Had the easy layup.
Martin on the perimeter. Will he throw up a 3-pointer? Every once in a while, but not as often. Fricks tries one. Under 8 minutes to go. And a charge called against Dezane Mingo. That's his first team foul. Number 5. Number 6.
It would be a battle of these big men inside, and this time Hutchins Everett gets away with a little bit of a push off. Martin couldn't block his shot, and he scores an easy 2.
So we're down 34-0. Winning will be tough. That's why I brought in the ease specialist.
Right. Geico makes car insurance easy. With the Geico app, you can check your policy on the go and get access to 24/7 claim support.
Yeah! Let's make this easy!
You know, that felt a lot closer.
For car insurance made easy, get more with Geico.
I'll show you the ropes, kid, show you the ropes.
Boom, baby.
Get it.
There it is.
All the parts you need at prices you love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love.
This is a hot flash. This is a hot flash. But this is a not flash. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms due to menopause, Veoza is the first and only prescription treatment that directly blocks the source of hot flashes and night sweats. With 100% hormone-free Veoza, you can have fewer hot flashes and more not flashes. Veoza reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Increased liver blood test values and liver problems may occur. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems such as feeling more tired than usual, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Ask your doctor about hormone-free Veoza and enjoy more not flashes. You could save on Veoza. Visit saveonveoza.com to learn more.
JMU Athletics would like to thank its Team Madison partners. They include Pepsi, as well as Centera. Kurt Dudley, Steve Buckhantz, David Hawley with you here courtside at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. James Madison up by 6, Steve.
We talked about how competitive this game is and how physical it's been. And for JMU, they've done a nice job holding Marshall to just 21% from the field. They're only 4 of 19 and 2 of 12 from long range. That's only 17%. The Dukes have yet to make a three-pointer. They're 0 for 4, but they're shooting 43% from the field. So the turnovers, again, has been a huge issue, and JMU this time is forcing the turnovers. They forced 10 against Marshall and scored 10 points off of those miscues.
That's tapped out of bounds. Last touch by the Thundering Herd. This is the 11th all-time meeting between the programs. Marshall's win last Thursday snapped a 3-game losing streak in the series. Series began with a home-and-home in December when Matt Brady was the head coach here back in 2010. They played pretty close. There was a few more days in between, but it was during the middle of December as Pocket is picked ahead to Gibson, and he gets too far underneath, does Gibbs. Xavier Brown steps into the 3 and cans it.
That's the first one by JMU.
We get something off the ball too.
I think they called it. Well, let's see.
Maybe on Fricks. Let's see if we can see it again here as Xavier Brown pops into three-pointer. With that for Xavier, he now is over 500 career points, 502 with that tray.
They did call it on Fricks, and it results in a 1-and-1 at the free throw line for Justin Taylor. And you can see Corny Jackson is trying to get an explanation from Jason Baker on that.
Corny Jackson coaching at his alma mater. He was a point guard for the Thundering Herd. Okay, we'll see it right here. That wasn't a whole heck of a lot. It was a 1-and-1 down here.
It was a 1-and-1. They thought it was an and-1, but he gets one more free throw, and this could result in what, for all intents and purposes, is a 5-point play.
If Taylor sinks this one, you've got the tray from Brown and add the 2 free throws. And the lead expands to double digits very quickly as Justin Taylor hits them both.
Yeah, I'm watching Corny Jackson, and he's not a happy man right now, not with the play of his team and the calls that have been made. He's kind of perplexed over there on this one.
Here's Mingo. And the 2 Dukes battling for it. Let's join David once again as he was sneaking into the James Madison huddle during that last timeout.
Well, obviously 10 turnovers is pretty dang good, but Coach Pradlin said we're playing great. We're playing great. If we can just tighten up the gaps, we'll get a couple more steals. So the defense overall, Coach Pradlin is very pleased with.
Nearly ran out of real estate over there. Martin's going to launch the 3, and he hits it. Again, he doesn't shoot them very often. That is just his 9th launch this year, but he's 4 out of 9.
Yeah. Heck of a player, averages 10 points and 8 rebounds a game, very physical. And he gets those 8 rebounds. He's 80th in the nation, in fact. Nice move by the big man. The soft touch is too short, though.
Lindsay comes up with it for the Dukes, goes up and scores the bucket, colliding with Martin. They let him play on.
I would say so.
Bryce now 25th in scoring in the Sun Belt with his average thus far at 12 points a game. Ball humming around the perimeter. Long rebound. Comes out. It is Dawson. Kicks it out to Mingo.
Well, we talked about how good JMU is at limiting offensive rebounds, but they have not done a great job in this game.
A lot of them, Steve, are these long boards that are coming out on these 3-point misses.
And some of them are like that with Jacob Gibbs, who gets one under the basket on a heady play, and he puts it back up and in. So a lot of offensive rebounds for Marshall, and that's a big plus for them right now.
In fact, they have more offensive rebounds than they do defensive rebounds at the moment. Of course, James Madison shooting a little better, so that makes a difference in that category as well. Smith fumbles the pass. That's just a turnover on his account. Dawson pulls up. That's should have been a 2-point try. They had the arm up, however. 27-19. Brown will slow it down and walk it into the front court.
5 minutes to play in the half.
Brown. Nobody played defense down the lane. Thank you very much, says Xavier.
He's got to be careful hanging on that rim. You can't pull up on it. They'll call you with a technical.
Well, and as wide open as that lane was, yes. Be one thing if you've got bodies underneath you, but that was not the case. Smith takes a swipe at it. And a foul. Is this a continuation? Are they going to score the bucket?
It's a good question. I think it is. Score the field goal, and Anachili Killen will go to the line and try to complete the 3-point play.
That's Anachili Killen's first.
Yeah, don't pull up on that rim. Well, I marvel at the screens that Nate Martin sets. I mean, he is just big and physical and knows how to plant his feet and set screens, and now a quick timeout has been called.
And Marshall taking the timeout with a deficit of 8 points, 29-21. And we'll keep it right here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. At halftime, we'll take a look at other scores for both men's and women's Sun Belt action tonight. There are a good number of games played last night. Some more on the docket tonight. And those are the numbers. Look how close all these numbers are, Steve. It's incredible throughout the course of the season just how close they are.
Well, and the last game they played was evident of that.
Now, one of the things Preston Spradlin told me in just a casual conversation about last Thursday's game, the Dukes did not win many of the 50-50 balls. It went way into the favor of Marshall, and he was very disappointed at that. That's just wanting it more, and if you win 50-50 balls,
gives yourself a good chance.
Absolutely, yep.
Yep. Well, that second half was a killer for the Dukes in that game last week against Marshall, as the Herd went 8 of 12 from three-point range in that half, as Anachili-Killen makes the free throw. And even though Freeman had 31 points, they were just unstoppable. Spear was just amazing, 7 for 7 from the field from long range.
Freeman hit some pretty incredible shots, only to see them answered by the Herd down the stretch. Right corner, Brown tapped up,
oh, man.
Volleyed up. Hutchins Everett.
Yeah, he went up over Gibbs that time and nearly tipped it in.
Eyeing the three, Nutter comes up short. Brown protects the basketball as he gets the carom. Down to 4 minutes to play in the opening stanza. Freeman gets loose. Keyhole drops it off. Layup.
That's as nice as you're going to see it done. Terrific assist by Freeman.
31-22. Nutter gets the screen. To the keyhole he goes. The kick out right side. Left-handed shot. Nothing but air. Lindsay has it for the Dukes. Brown calling for it. Gets it. Sinks it.
He's loving it. Xavier Brown.
He's surpassed 500 career points tonight and 200 career rebounds, and the three the opposite way.
Yeah, Dawson knocks it down. 17 points last time they played.
Dawson has a dozen. Taylor.
Man, oh boy, he got fouled.
Yes, he did.
And they finally, Trubisky calls the foul.
And that stops the clock with 3:02 to go in the first half. A physical battle between the Herd and the Dukes of James Madison. This is the way Sun Belt basketball is played, folks. Back with more from the Atlantic Union Bank Center in just a couple of moments on ESPN+.
Behind every team is a great community. Door Gorilla is proud to be the official garage door provider for JMU Athletics, and proud to support their community. When you need a garage door, call 540-740-DOOR and show your support for JMU this season. Go Dukes!
Nestled in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley, Cross Keys Vineyards is all about experiences. The unique spaces, the exquisite views, the delicious bistro creations, and of course the award-winning wine, all combined to create experiences you will never forget with those you love most. And when you bring home a bottle of wine from Cross Keys Vineyards, you bring part of that experience home with you. Come experience all that Cross Keys Vineyards has to offer you. Reservations available online at crosskeysvineyards.com.
When my dad started in 1999, he was managing his own properties. They were all student rentals. Today, we serve over 1,200 properties as the premier property management solution in the Harrisonburg and Rockingham County area. Looking forward to the next 25 years, I think Reiner Rentals will continue to grow, and the quality of service that we provide to our local community will never change. Honesty, integrity, and local service continue to be the things that drive Reiner Rentals into the future.
34-25, James Madison with the lead. Just over 3 minutes to go here before intermission. The Marshall Thundering Herd coming to town 10-8 under their first-year head coach Corny Jackson. Picked to finish 10th in the Sun Belt. The preseason poll lost to number 6 Purdue. That was in November. Home wins against Bellarmine, Preston Spadlin's former team, Morehead State, Ohio, and James Madison, but 0-6 outside of Huntington.
Yeah, they finished 13-20 last year. It was disappointing end of that season. And as you said, you know, the expectations weren't really high for them. They were 10th in the preseason Sun Belt poll, but off to a good start, plus 500 and 3 conference wins to start the season. So they've already beaten the Dukes this year. They're looking to get their first road win on the year. They're 0-6 on the road, as is James Madison.
Couple of free throws coming up, as here's the second for Taylor. 8 fouls against Marshall, 7 against James Madison.
Well, Taylor Hasn't shot many, just a 48% free throw shooter coming in, but he's already knocked down 4 of them.
Held on 49 career trays, came to James Madison from Syracuse. Lofting it up. Taylor got a hand on it, got the rebound, out to Lindsey.
Yeah, good job by Taylor to tip that, to allow his teammate to get the rebound and keep it alive.
Dewana back on the floor for James Madison. Here goes Brown working into the keyhole. Fires out right side, setting the shot, and the bucket is good. Bryce Lindsey with the tray. He's got 5, and the Dukes lead up to 14. Little bump down below. Dewana taps it out. Nutter hits the floor. We'll see if this continues on after halftime, Steve, the way the physicality is of this ball game.
It's fun to watch. I mean, it's been rough, but it's been some good basketball so far.
Lindsey driving, finds really an open shot, had the baseline wide open, but misses the snowbird. Dawson launches in and out, it rolls. That's off the head of Nutter. James Madison gets the possession. Good hustle for Nutter. Couldn't grasp it. Back in comes Mingo as well as Martin. Duke's not making any substitutions right now. Preston Spradlin again in his first season. Associate head coach Scott Combs and Dominic Lombardi. Kaysen Burke and Calvin Baker on the bench for the Dukes.
Big difference. Madison's shooting 48%. Marshall 24%.
Ball nearly stolen away like a defensive back would do. Knocking it down. We get a tie up, and the arrow favors Marshall. That's an excellent job defensively by Spear. He knew he was beat. He just put his hands up on the pass. Must have read his defender's eyes, knowing where the ball was coming. Jars it loose and results in a possession for the Thundering Herd.
The Dukes' 7th turnover of the half. Remember last time they played, they had 9 miscues in the first half at Marshall.
Shot clock at 7, baseline. Just flipped out here. Spear, that's almost to Steve. I'm glad you didn't go over the table there, dude.
I'm not that risky. At my age, you have to stay put.
Hey, wise decision. Wise decision. There you go. See? I'm sure you had a few big NBA guys in your lap every once in a while.
There's been a few come over the table, but we've caught a few passes too. I'm proud of that. Offensive foul.
And that's on A.J. Smith, his second.
That's turnover number 8 for the Dukes.
Smith will head back out. And so Taylor will come back in. Preston Spradlin having a conversation with Michael Wallace, one of the officials at the far corner. Spear. So Martin, with his showing early, he can shoot that 3. Does draw out a little bit further that defense from James Madison, as there to get the board is Hutchins Everett. That's his 6th rebound of the night.
You know, there's a lot of similarities between him and Jalen Carey, who played here last year.
Good point, Steve. Jalen moving on to Vanderbilt with former JMU head coach Mark Byington, and playing very well there. Freeman got a nice shot.
He did. Just couldn't knock it down.
And Chili Killen comes down with the board. 10 seconds, under 10 to go. 14-point James Madison lead. Marshall wants to trim it a little bit. Stepping back, the 3-pointer will not go. Tapped up by Martin, but that was after the horn had sounded, as Caden White came in to launch the tray. And that takes us into the locker rooms here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. Well, Steve, a very, very physical first 20 minutes.
Physical first 20 minutes. They let them play, which you like to see. And the Dukes really turning the tables on Marshall in terms of turnovers. They managed to score 12 points off of their miscues, and that helps. They got the ball inside of the big man, and they finally hit some three-point shots, and at the break, they're up by 14.
We'll take a look at scores and standings when we return here at halftime on ESPN+.
Home Goods, go finding.
If you find yourself in a box that can no longer contain you, it's time to find a bigger box. Find your next level at ArmyCivilianCareers.com.
You mastered your mind. And all the while, you were on the train home. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
Get special low rates on a new Subaru Outback for a limited time.
Own a design studio. Win a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
Get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
The Home Depot, committed to filling the trades gap.
And we welcome you back to the Atlantic Union Bank Center here at halftime men's basketball Sun Belt Conference style, as James Madison has a 39-25 lead over Marshall. Second meeting between these programs in back-to-back Thursdays. And here we have scores to give you. First of all, from yesterday, you see there at the bottom of the screen, Texas State over Georgia State 94-80. South Alabama improved to 5-1. They've had scores very similar to that in the low to mid 70s to the high 50s, low 60s in their 5 wins, 75-62. The win yesterday over Southern Miss. And Troy beat Louisiana Monroe. The Warhawks are without a victory in Sun Belt play thus far this season, 77-58. JMU will entertain App State coming up on Saturday, and the Mountaineers leading at Old Dominion at halftime, 29-18. And also at halftime, Georgia Southern leading at Coastal Carolina, 31-30. That at the break, and a little later start today, Louisiana and Arkansas State. And there are your scores. When we come back, David will take us through some women's basketball news, some updates on scores and standings when we return to the Atlantic Union Bank Center.
All right, let's settle down, everybody. Now that we have a completely new Homes.com with a beautiful new design and the most in-depth info, all we need now is a new name.
Do we?
So we're gonna lock the doors and stay late until we find that name that's synonymous with shopping for homes.
Here's a wild idea.
Homes.com.
We're gonna go with Homes.com. We're gonna keep it. I love it. Fresh, innovative. This has been fun.
Ding dong.
Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Imagine your child not having a decent pair of shoes, socks, or a warm coat. Subaru and its retailers have provided critical items like these to nearly 900,000 people in urgent need. Subaru, more than a car company.
Why do dermatologists worldwide recommend La Roche-Posay? Effective skincare like La Roche-Posay Double Repair Face Moisturizer delivers double action to help repair skin's barrier and provide 48-hour hydration for healthy-looking skin. La Roche-Posay.
Wings and pizza here.
You mean pizza and wings?
16 boneless wings, 1 pizza, wings and pizza.
It's stuffed crust pizza. Pizza is the lead.
Wings and pizza. Guys?
Get a large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings starting at $19.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Own a design studio. Win a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
Get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
It's time to get in the game and sign up to ESPN Plus.
Tap into an entire world of sports. ESPN.
For the love of football, derbies, ultras, and Humba, and every match on ESPN Plus.
Nothing like in the Bundesliga.
For the love of Bundesliga, exclusively on ESPN Plus.
39-25 here inside the Atlantic Union Bank Center. JMU leads over Marshall. Well, we've seen a lot of James Madison versus Marshall. Of course, these two teams played 7 days ago on the men's side plan. Tonight, we might as well go look on the women's side because there's some more JMU versus Marshall action. At this point, it's the Harlem Globetrotters versus the Washington Generals, but it was a big night for James Madison on the women's side. 4 players scoring over double digits, and JMU had a huge first quarter. They outscored Marshall 24-10, and what a night it was for Rose Scott. 20 points on an efficient 7 of 11 from the field, and when you talk about efficient, they were very efficient beyond the arc. They went 11 for 20 from deep. You see the 93-65 scoreline. It was a big night for CC Mays. On the other side for the Thundering Herd, Marshall women's basketball, of course, with a first-year head coach in Jolie Folks, after Kim Caldwell took her talents to the Volunteers of Tennessee. So we take a look at the scoreboard for Sun Belt women's basketball. ULM and Southern Miss at halftime right now on ESPN Plus. And Troy dominating South Alabama 50-28. The Chanticleers took a tough loss at home against Georgia State. App State and ODU, that was a 7-point affair, but the Monarchs getting it done. And then Georgia Southern and Texas State. That was a close one in the fourth quarter, but the Eagles able to pull away at the last minute. And talk about a nail biter. It was Louisiana and Arkansas State, 67-65. The Red Wolves able to pull through and find the win. Of course, James Madison beating Marshall 93-65. They are led by head coach Sean O'Regan in his 9th year with the program. A lot more in store here at halftime inside the Atlantic Union Bank Center. 39-25, Duke's lead over the Thundering Herd.
If you choose to be challenged, the sky isn't the limit. It's just the beginning. Find your next level at ArmyCivilianCareers.com.
Wings and pizza here.
You mean pizza and wings?
16 boneless wings, 1 pizza, wings and pizza.
It's stuffed crust pizza. Pizza is the lead.
Wings and pizza. Guys?
Get a large one-topping stuffed crust pizza and 16 boneless wings starting at $19.99. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Where can you kick off the new year with gig speed and big savings? Only with Xfinity. Get gig internet at home for $25 a month when you add Xfinity Mobile, which connects you to gig speed Wi-Fi on the road. Save more than $650 over AT&T and Verizon. Plus, hurry and get a free 5G phone. So save big and stay connected with gig speed internet and mobile. From home to hotspots, this new year, it's all about savings on gig speeds. Visit Xfinity.com/gig savings today.
So we're down 34-0. Winning will be tough. That's why I brought in the ease specialist.
Right. Geico makes car insurance easy. With the Geico app, you can check your policy on the go and get access to 24/7 claim support.
Yeah! Let's make this easy!
You know, that felt a lot closer.
For car insurance made easy, get more with Geico.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
This is a hot flash. This is a hot flash. But this is a not flash. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms due to menopause, Veoza is the first and only prescription treatment that directly blocks the source of hot flashes and night sweats. With 100% hormone-free Veoza, you can have fewer hot flashes and more not flashes. Veoza reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Increased liver blood test values and liver problems may occur. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems such as feeling more tired than usual, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Ask your doctor about hormone-free Veoza and enjoy more not flashes. You could save on Veoza. Visit saveonveoza.com to learn more.
Getting close to starting the second half here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center in Harrisonburg, Virginia. James Madison, the home team, leading Marshall 39-25 here at the break. And the numbers, we'll crunch those for you first of all. And some big, we showed you the season numbers, how close they were. Well, here in this ball game, there's quite a vast difference between the two.
Yeah, that's huge. JMU holding Marshall to 22% shooting from the field while shooting 47% themselves. They're out-rebounded by 4. But the other thing, too, Kurt, the assists. James Madison, 9 assists on 15 made field goals. Last time they played, they had a season-low 5 assists. That makes a big difference. The three-point shooting hasn't been great. Points in the paint, and you can see JMU 24-4, and that's an enormous difference. So defense has been the name of this game. It's been very physical. Both teams trying to get up shots. They've been contested, but right now the Dukes defensively holding Marshall to just 22% from the field, and that's enormous right now. Now remember when they played last week, JMU led by 2 at the half, but Marshall came out like a house of fire. Spear couldn't miss, and they just destroyed him from three-point range. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to get those three-point shots up and make them in this second half.
I'm just curious to see how the calls will go here in this second half after a very brutal physical first 20 minutes of this ball game. It is very standard Sun Belt Conference basketball. Will they continue to let them play the way they will? Will they be just as fierce out there, both teams, as they were in that first 20 minutes of the ball game? Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights in today's contest, and we'll start with the Thundering Herd as Dawson has led the way as he has been one of the top scorers on a team which is pretty balanced in its scoring.
Yeah, and they're able to get shots up. That one he did on his own, but they set some amazing screens. I mean, Nate Martin is just a terrific screen setter, and he's able to get guys open, but they finally got a couple knocked down from long range. 4 of 21 from three-point range in that first half. But the Duke's playing some fierce defense, hitting the boards. Taylor came in, made some nice passes, and Dewana off the bench was outstanding.
That was part of the separation. It's a 14-point game, but it was kind of nip and tuck there, and that when Dawson came in and got a couple of slams there, that started to make a little separation between the two teams. And the Dukes in the paint, as we showed you earlier, plus 20, 24-4 in the paint. Another JMU 12-4 advantage off turnovers. As we get ready for the second half, there's Dewana on the bench as he'll start right there.
Last week, Marshall came out of the halftime break making 4 of 5 threes to start that second stanza, and they finished the game with 13 of them. That tied a season high. See what happens here in this half.
Well, Marshall has the MO of throwing the first punch, if you would, and whether it's at the beginning of the ball game or the beginning of the half, they definitely want to do that. But instead, there's the bucket, Hutchins Everett. He's got 8.
Yeah, that's some great footwork by Hutchins Everett. You just backed Martin down, got some separation, and hit that short, soft jumper.
Martin on the floor. Start the second half. He'll try to answer. No kicks out. Three-pointer left corner. And there it is. Jalen Spear. That's his second tray of the night. He is 2 for 5 from beyond the arc. In fact, all of his shots have come outside the arc.
Yeah, he wound up making, as we said, all 7 of his three-pointers in the last meeting between these two. Was just unstoppable.
Bit of a screen that allows Brown for the step back. That's well off the mark. Here's Mingo. Dawson, dangerous from anywhere, launches the 3, and there's another.
Yeah, see, now Marshall is getting some separation on those screens, and they're getting good looks at the basket from long range, and more importantly, they're knocking them down, and that's how they're going to get back in this game.
All right, David hunted down both head coaches to find out what they thought about the first half and going into the second half.
Well, I told Coach Spradlin, I imagine you feel pretty good about that first half, and he said not at all. 12 offensive rebounds, just not good enough. Great first shot defense, but he said they just didn't finish possessions, and he also felt like they had some bad turnovers in transition. He said we want to run, but when we do it, we have to have more discipline. Now on the other side for Marshall, head coach Gordon Jackson said, we just got to get our heads in the game, and he left me with that. But we have seen them string a few points together to start the second half.
Excuse me, Kurt.
That's all right. Bump from behind that jarred the ball loose.
Yeah, that's what Hutchins Everett has to be aware of.
Whoa,
that's happened
hang
twice
on.
now.
This may go to a review because there was a powerful hit out there.
And as we said, Smith is, I think, the strongest guy on the team, and you don't want to run into him. But back to Hutchins Everett, that's twice that he's put the ball on the floor and been surprised from behind. He's got to be more aware of that when he goes to the dribble.
Well, now let you say that, Steve. If it's happened to you twice, you know they have figured that out in their scouting report, and they're going to go with that ploy.
Sure.
Here's that screen. Oh, hang on just a second. Here it comes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty big blast there. I'm surprised they didn't look at it a little further.
Yeah.
Dawson, nice pass on below, and a foul as Martin goes up to the cup pretty strongly, and the foul called against Elijah Hutchins Everett. That's his first.
Yeah, that was an excellent pass, and Martin got his body underneath to get the layup, which he missed, but he was fouled on the play.
Martin, a 51% shooter at the free throw line. Fan of the Mavericks, no surprise. He's from Houston, Texas, also a fan of the Cowboys.
Are there Cowboys have fans now?
I guess so.
It's kind of a rough season for them.
It has been, yes.
A couple of years. I say that as a Commanders fan.
I'm sure, yes.
Who are in the playoffs and Dallas making vacation plans.
Martin hits.
1 of 2 for him. He got his 3rd double-double of the season against Georgia Southern with 18 points and 13 rebounds the other night.
Hutchins Everett up high, gives it off to Freeman. Looks down low. Freeman on the move, in the paint, gets his man up in the air, draws the foul.
Great fake by Freeman, and he'll get 2 free throws.
So that's on Obina and a Chili Killen. Now, there was a little bit of an accounting. Remember that 5-point play? We thought the foul was on Fricks. It was not on Fricks. The question was whether it was on Nutter or Anna Chili Killen. So
And
we're waiting to get that confirmed.
Okay.
I don't know that. We'll have to look at the box score here to figure it out in a moment, as Freeman goes to the free throw line.
77% shooter, misses the first. 31 points against Marshall. The 5th collegiate game with 30 or more points, playing for his 4th collegiate team.
Yeah, he is one of 9 active Division I players with 1,500 career points and 500 career assists. Here Spear elevates at the elbow.
Wow.
Swish.
He's a good-looking player.
Spear has 8. 3 out of 6 from the floor, 2 of 5 on three-pointers.
And the 16-point lead has been cut in half.
Brown way up top. Taylor getting some playing time here this evening. Freeman saw Hutchins Everett a little too late to get it into him. Brown launches a 3. And a Chili Killen with a rebound. Spear pushes right side. Dawson launches in a hurry. Rims the cup. Battered around. And a Chili Killen ball taken away by Freeman. Freeman says slow it up here.
I think Marshall has come out with more intensity in this half, playing better defense, forcing the Dukes into some very difficult shots if they get them at all.
Here the big fellas go at one another, down to the right block, and a Chili Killen can't defend him.
He lost his footing. He just threw that one up for grabs, Kurt.
And he is in double figures, the first of the evening for James Madison. Dawson leads all scorers with 15. Give and go. And go there with Brown right on his hip. Spear looking for the screen. Gets the space.
Wow.
Pops it in.
Step back jumper's a beauty.
And he is warming up here in the second half.
Yep.
He's up to 11.
That's what he did last week.
Dukes more than a half court and nearly stolen away. Knocked into the lap of Preston Spradlin.
Spear now 3 of 6 from long range. And he's helped his team get back into this game.
He was 1 for 4 at halftime. Starting to heat it up. Only a 7-point spread. Once down by 16 was the Herd.
If you want your trade-in to be worth more down the road, then shop Toyota, the best resale value brand, according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. After the first 5 years of ownership, the average vehicle is expected to retain about 42% of its original value, while these Toyotas are predicted to be 12 to 20% higher, which can mean thousands in savings. Toyota is your best choice for today and tomorrow. Toyota, let's go places.
Low Fiber is proud to support the JMU Dukes. And with gig speeds, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet. And your first month of internet free. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today. Faster, better fiber internet. Now that's Glow Fiber. Go Dukes!
When my dad started in 1999, he was managing his own properties. They were all student rentals. Today, we serve over 1,200 properties as the premier property management solution in the Harrisonburg and Rockingham County area. Looking forward to the next 25 years, I think Reiner Rentals will continue to grow, and the quality of service that we provide to our local community will never change. Honesty, integrity, and local service continue to be the things that drive Reiner Rentals into the future.
We all have our own happy place. Whatever works for you. We're not judging. In fact, we think banking should also be done your way and stress-free, with someone you trust to take the stress out of banking. Any way you bank.
We've made it way easier than you think.
Atlantic Union Bank.
Atlantic Union Bank is the official bank of JMU Athletics. Show your JMU pride with a Design Mind debit card. Atlantic Union Bank, the switch is on. We're inside the Atlantic Union Bank Center. Students starting to show up as they've been out of classes for a long time. Actually get back into the class mode on Tuesday. So a few have come in a little early. We may see a few more here on Saturday when the Dukes host App State.
I would think that'd be a sellout.
You would hope so.
Dukes came out of the halftime, scored the first field goal to go up by 16, but overall they've been outscored here 12-5 in this half.
Brown slides through and scores it.
What a shot.
Brown in double figures. He has 10.
Such a great player on last year's 32-win team.
Big ball game in the championship game against Arkansas State. Dropped off, Gibbs lays it in.
Another fabulous pass, and Gibbs breaking to the basket to collect that pass. That was nicely done.
Mingo picking up the assist. Dewana back on the floor for James Madison, as is Bryce Lindsey. Brown one-on-one with Spear, lofts it up for Dewana. Dewana,
wow,
tumbles down as Spear was underneath him.
I thought Dewana got hit by Spear.
Martin out to Spear all alone. Last touch, Martin. Coach Jackson graduated from Marshall in 2001. His associate head coach, Rob Fuller, another Marshall alum. Mark Klein from Wake Forest, and Adam Williams, another Marshall product. Noah Williams finds Brown, hits the three.
Yeah, you can't leave him open. You can't leave Spear open. And that time Brown got one of the best looks at a three all game.
Brown playing in his 81st game as a Duke. Started 17 games last year for that 32-4 team that set a James Madison record for wins in a season.
Good Lord.
Bodies tumbling everywhere.
These guys are going to need some Epsom salts when this game is over. If they still make Epsom salts, I don't know.
Bodies hitting the floor. Here we go. Take a look at it. Bryce takes one into the sternum. And sticking with it is Mingo.
And then Dewana comes down on him.
Well, he owed one from the opposite end.
He did.
A little pressure applied. So the ball put in the hands of Xavier Brown. Brown from Williamsburg, Virginia, went to Jamestown High School. Father, a very successful high school coach in that area as well. Eddie Ricks to the rim.
Wow, what a shot. Had to go far left with that left hand off the glass.
And he used the bicycle lane that time to get that shot off as he went down the lane, that is. Lindsey thought about a three, thought better of it early in the shot clock. A lot of switching going on there. There's some open bodies. Duke's just got to find them. Here's Ricks, soft shut. Yes, it's going to run on down.
And a timeout called by Coach Jackson as the Dukes extend the lead to 12.
Quick run by James Madison. Timeout on the floor called by Marshall. Eddie Ricks finds some space, uses the length, scores the basketball. Dukes up by a dozen.
Target made Good and Gather for you. helping you save on tasty berries frozen at peak ripeness, ready whenever you need them. Everyday favorites at unbeatable prices. We made Good and Gather for you, only at Target.
Get special low rates on a new Subaru Outback for a limited time.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" And then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
The 2025 Pro Bowl games. This year's stars show off their best moves in the Skills Show.
Oh, my goodness.
Plus, the AFC and NFC meet again in flag football.
Touchdown.
Skills Show, January 30th on ESPN. Flag football, February 2nd on ESPN and ABC.
For the love of football, derbies, ultras and Humba. And every match on ESPN+.
Nothing like in the Bundesliga.
For the love of braces and hat-tricks.
With a belter!
Belters and wonder goals.
Oh, that's a wonder goal!
Number 9s and the Torschützenkönig. For the love of the Invincibles.
Leverkusen, unbeaten champions.
For the love of Bundesliga. Exclusively on ESPN+.
Oh, we got swimming action tomorrow morning on ESPN+. The JMU Dukes, champions of the Sun Belt Conference, will welcome in the reigning champions of the Big East, the Villanova Wildcats. Diving begins at 10 tomorrow morning, and all the swimming activity will start at high noon. The Dukes and the Wildcats join us right here on ESPN+. JMU, one more year in the Sun Belt for women's swimming, and then on to the
Where is
AAC.
that pool located?
That one, I gotta think, where was that one last year?
Because I know when I was here, we swam in Newman Lake. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It was at Godwin Hall.
I don't know that you're kidding. But anyway, yeah, their home facility is in Godwin Hall, yes. Still there.
Savage Auditorium, I believe.
Yes, correct. Tossed up, tapped out. Williams has it for James Madison. Hands it off to Brown.
Save for that last shot. Marshall shooting much better in this half, 67%. Now 6 of 10 from the field and 3 of 6 from long range. That's after shooting 22% in the first half. And that was in Orlando?
That championship that you saw, yeah.
Looked nothing like Harrisonburg, exactly.
Here we go. That just snuck on through for Hutchins Everett. Took a fortunate bounce.
Sure did.
JMU was led by as many as 16. Nice rebound for Brown.
Wow, he got up for that.
He has surpassed 200 career rebounds tonight. For the Dukes point guard in his 81st game. Decides to take the three. And this fended off. Cade Gibbs does a really nice job of boxing out.
Yeah.
Mingo got his man up in the air, passes it off to Dawson. And a Chili Killen fadeaway, bounds around and tumbles on home.
I know they were happy to get him back after, well, he didn't play in the last game. They didn't need him, but he sprained his ankle against JMU in that last contest and only scored 3 points.
Yeah, Chris LaPole worked quite a bit, spent a lot of time with him after that injury.
Boy, that was a good look that time.
That's a missile. Comes out. Ricks picks it up and takes out the trash.
Boy, he's been a real spark plug for the Dukes in this game, Eddie Ricks.
Ricks and Dewana have done some great work today. Right in the arms of Lindsey. Lindsey will slow it down.
Yeah, that was knocked away by Williams from behind. Good heads-up play.
The screen, nope, actually going to start moving it. Coach Spradlin wanted him to start a little earlier in that possession. Here's Williams, right wing.
Won't get a better look than that.
Nope, long rebound comes out. Mingo. Jump ball.
Wow, good call by Michael Wallace on that drive.
And that will stay in possession of the Marshall Thundering Herd. The possession arrow headed that direction. 10:03 to go. We've played 3/4 of this ball game. 57-43. Are we at Bridgeport Stadium or Atlantic Union Bank Center?
Why do dermatologists worldwide recommend La Roche-Posay? Effective skincare like La Roche-Posay Double Repair Face Moisturizer delivers double action to help repair skin's barrier and provide 48-hour hydration for healthy-looking skin. La Roche-Posay.
Wow, este mundo es tan absolutamente maravilloso. Tenemos que salvar este planeta. Salvarlo de los miedosos con ojos inocentes que solo aman el bajo riesgo y no son lo suficientemente valientes para lanzarse a lo que nunca se ha hecho antes. Dile hola al muscle car más poderoso del mundo. El mundo nunca ha visto una fuerza como esta. Cuando se trata de salvar el planeta, lo hacemos a nuestra manera.
Own a design studio. Win a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
Get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
From the moment you wake up, to getting ready, to driving to your hunting spot, to getting to the stand, to calling in that buck. Midway USA has everything you need for that one moment.
Back inside the Atlantic Union Bank Center, JMU leads over Marshall. Every good coach knows you need hustle, you need energy on the floor. But for head coach Preston Spradlin at JMU, he wants a bit more, and that is bench energy. It's something that he has talked about and said is an integral part of his program throughout the years. This is something that really started back during COVID. Obviously, you have empty arenas, or at the least, very limited capacity arenas. And so he started to harp on his bench, providing energy, showing up for the team. It got to the point where he would do bench edits, and they would review film about their bench after games, rewarding the guys that did good, even having them reenact some of the things they did on the bench. This got so aggressive in a good way that refs used to email Coach Spradlin to try and get them to tone down the bench, guys.
He certainly has gotten energy from Dewana and Ricks off the bench in this game, as Spear hits yet another three, and I mean, his shooting is phenomenal.
He has just been red hot here in the second half. Again, was just 1 for 4 at the break.
Zone defense now for Marshall.
Freeman will try to break it. Can't do so. Dewana, big offensive rebound for James Madison. He's got a good situation here if he can score it, but Achille Killen.
He came down with it, and then Dewana fouled him. So Freeman went to the official and said, hey, he hit me with a right elbow before the jump ball was called. Actually, Xavier Brown went to the official just to let him know that he caught an elbow in the chops. But they called a jump ball instead.
7-point ball game down low. Martin bumps again.
Man,
off the square.
Using that body, using that strength. He's a massive human.
Martin with a half dozen points, 2 of 3 from the floor, also has 8 rebounds. He and Anachili Killen with 8 boards apiece for the visitors. Smith is fouled by Anachili Killen. That is his third. When I mentioned earlier, Steve, about there was some concern about whether the right foul was given.
Sure. Yep.
Apparently they kept it as it was. So that is the third against Anachili Killen. There was some concern that that might have been that he may have had 3 or 2 at halftime, but he's picked up 2 since the break.
So here goes A.J. Smith to the line, 77% free throw shooter.
Smith been on the floor for 15 minutes today.
He had 13 points against Appalachian State, and that was the 8th time that he scored 10 or more points this season. But he's just, you love a guy like that. He reminds me a little bit of Noah Friedel in the sense that he's just all over the court. He's going to get you loose balls. He's going to fight for balls on the floor. He's going to tip balls and keep them alive. And you love his energy.
Over 400 career rebounds, played 2 seasons at Southern Indiana. Four points for A.J. Smith. 11-point lead, James Madison. Martin, Hutchins Everett guarding him. Knocked away. Hutchins Everett got a hand on it. Dukes on the run. Dukes wisely settle it out. It was not an advantage.
Yep, smart play. Again, good defense, and it's better with Hutchins Everett on Martin than Dewana.
Smith drives the baseline. Out it goes. The kick out Freeman. He felt good about the shot.
Yeah, he was open.
And a slap foul on Hutchins Everett after Anachili Killen grabbed the rebound. That is his 9th board of the night for the Nigerian. Lagos, Nigeria, 6'8", 220 pounds.
And that is what, his 2nd personal?
For Hutchins Everett, yes, that is 2 on him. Martin has launched a 3 and hit a 3 in this ball game. Elevating. Just does get enough of the iron and lip on through. That's a deuce, and 9 points to go with his 9 boards. 9-point lead. Once was 16.
And that's going to be number 3 on Hutchins Everett. And Anachili Killen did a good job to sell it, but Hutchins Everett has got to be a little more careful trying to get open underneath, because he threw Anachili Killen to the floor and they got him for the foul.
7:39 to play in this Sun Belt Conference clash. James Madison maintaining the advantage. It's at 9 at the moment.
If you choose to be challenged, the sky isn't the limit. It's just the beginning. Find your next level at armyciviliancareers.com.
Este mundo es tan absolutamente maravilloso. Tenemos que salvar este planeta. Salvarlo de los miedosos con ojos inocentes que solo aman el bajo riesgo y no son lo suficientemente valientes para lanzarse a lo que nunca se ha hecho antes. Dile hola al muscle car más poderoso del mundo. El mundo nunca ha visto una fuerza como esta. Cuando se trata de salvar el planeta, lo hacemos a nuestra manera.
At Harbor Freight, we do business differently from the other guys. We design and test our own tools and sell them directly to you. No middleman. No folks in suits telling us to raise prices for the heck of it. Just quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love. Every aisle, every day. That's how we like to do business anyway. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Own a design studio. Win a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
The 2025 Pro Bowl games begin January 30th on ESPN.
The best of college basketball every Saturday on ESPN.
Shenandoah Valley Airport is the official airport of JMU. SHD connects Dukes fans to the world with flights to Charlotte and seamless connections beyond. Visit flyshd.com to book your next trip. Well, the guy on the right there, we talk a lot of times about Kelly Bowmaster. Well, that is the Bowmaster right there.
Yeah.
His dad.
Tom. Kelly is our
producer.
Director, producer, along with the rest of the guys and gals in the truck.
I want to thank all the tech crew here today.
Although it's not a truck, the production facility is right inside the building. It's a beautiful facility.
Number 13, Noah Williams.
Noah Williams called for that foul. We flew out of Shenandoah Valley to go down to see the Dukes win their football bowl game in Boca Raton. It was awesome.
Over Western Kentucky.
Yep. Thanks to Nick Langridge and the whole group.
Ball stripped away. Hutchins Everett comes away with a steal for James Madison. He does have 3 fouls. The Dukes cannot afford to let him sit very long. Back out it comes.
Yeah, Ricks was open for a minute. I think he turned around, didn't realize how open he was. There he is again.
Got it again. Off the glass, high off the glass. Hutchins Everett got a hand on it, but it's tracked down by number 23, Dawson of the Herd. Quick pass stolen away by Brown. And ridden by Nutter, that is, beg your pardon.
Yeah, that's just a heads-up play by Xavier Brown to slow up, knowing the defender was right behind him and on his back.
Second foul on Nutter. Yeah, I think that foul that we thought was on Fricks in the first half was actually on Nutter.
Okay.
That was a difference.
Michael Wallace, the official, hearing it from the crowd, the guys behind us who want to do that. And he turned around and said, thanks, I'm having a good time.
Hutchins Everett inside out it goes. Brown launches a 3-pointer off the lip of the iron, tapped up. That was by Williams, that is. Got a hand on it initially. Marshall, though, comes out of the pack, still down by 9. Trying to skip it on, ball tapped around, and Achille Killen puts it in for the bucket.
Lead down to 7.
He's got 11. 6 minutes to go in this clash. A.J. Smith wants to check back in for James Madison.
Yeah, this is a critical time for both teams. Marshall can get even closer. The Dukes can hang on to this victory if they can make some baskets. That's a tough shot, though.
Lindsey, in and out it goes. Rebound comes out. It's Dawson.
Yeah.
Dawson looks right, looks left, finds Nutter. Brown was alert with Dawson. He was going to the corner. And Achille Killen drives to the right block, pushes it up, in and out it goes. Jump ball. Arrow favors James Madison. Good job by Martin to tie that ball up.
I think Spradlin's going to get Dewana back into the game and bring Hutchins Everett out. But this is kind of critical because, again, Dewana, who will cover Achille Killen, well, actually, it looks like he's covering Nate Martin now, and that's a tough chore for him because Martin is a big, strong guy.
And expect some contact, without a doubt. A.J. Smith back out to Brown. Shot clock at 18. Plenty of time to work on the possession. Brown Smith whirling it around. Here's Lindsey. Lindsey goes against Martin. And pass is deflected out of bounds. Last touch by the Thundering Herd. Shot clock is at 10.
Yeah, he got up in the air with really nowhere to go. Unfortunately, that was knocked out of bounds by Marshall.
I think he thought he might get a shot off initially, but that defense for the Herd collapsed in on the baseline.
Yeah, defense has been much better for Marshall in this second half.
That did leave him with nothing to do. Lindsey, big three.
Great rotation on that jump shot. A good open three-point attempt. And he knocked it down. That's one of their better looks of the half.
Timeout called by the Thundering Herd. We keep it here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. Good ball movement for the Dukes.
Yeah, that's one of the few times Marshall slacked off and didn't cover the shooter in this half.
That's just the 7th shot taken tonight by Lindsey. As when he was scoring a lot of points, he was getting a lot of shots up. He was averaging over 10 shots per game from mid-November to early December, but only 8 shots a game the last 6. And over that stretch, he was only averaging 8.3 points per ball game.
Yeah, he had his season low against App State of 3 points on Saturday, and he's been in single digits in 3 straight games and in 4 of the last 6.
But again, he is on the top of the scouting charts. Was leading the Dukes in scoring as the 6th man. But he has the capability of lighting it up at any time. So does this guy with the basketball. Now down low. And a Chili Killen got up, passes it out, finds Spear. Spear shot a little short, tapped up off the glass. A rebound by Lindsey. Martin trying to tie up another ball. And Lindsey protects the basketball. Defensive rebound for James Madison.
And a big one.
Dukes with 28 rebounds, 36 for Marshall. Spear and Brown. Brown gets free on a screen. Oh, Dewana was open for a split second. Ricks, sweeping hook.
Yeah, just a wild shot.
Tapped around, and a Chili Killen.
And he got fouled. Take your pick. It's either on Dewana or Ricks.
Probably Dewana. That's the man they're going to label this one on. Yeah, it was just wild flow of the ball down the floor. 2 shots for Avina.
%70 from the free throw line for Corny Jackson's team.
And Hutchins Everett comes back in for Coach Spradlin.
Gets the second. Boy, over the last 3 games, Anna Chili Killen's got 15 blocks. Had 6 against Texas State, 5 against Troy, and 4 against JMU.
He is number 1 in the Sun Belt in that category. Open, Lindsey. Off the iron, tapped out, Ricks. Tracked down by Brown, and the recycling of the shot clock. Brown penetrates. Keyhole.
Boy, that's the kind you got to knock down. He had a good screen, had an open shot, just couldn't hit it.
Spear quickly into the forecourt. And a Chili Killen takes the shot. That might be a little too quick on the trigger. He might need a blow as well. He's taken less than 25 3-pointers the entire season. I don't think that's the shot Marshall needed. Wow. Lindsey looking, drives.
What a shot.
Lindsey in double figures. He has 10.
I was watching the battle between A.J. Smith and Spear, setting screens on each other as Jackson wants a timeout. The lead is 11 with 3:01 to play in the second half.
We'll take this timeout along with them. James Madison up with 3:01 to go. Bryce Lindsey coming up with some big buckets in the second half as Marshall still threatening.
So we're down 34-0. Winning will be tough. That's why I brought in the ease specialist.
Right. Geico makes car insurance easy. With the Geico app, you can check your policy on the go and get access to 24/7 claim support.
Yeah! Let's make this easy!
You know, that felt a lot closer.
For car insurance made easy, get more with Geico.
Own a design studio. Win a really big design contract. Realize you're more of a creative type than a finance type. Realize you got this. Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing. Get live expert assistance to maximize your tax savings.
I can help with that.
get back to doing what you love. Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
This is a classic got up too fast from tying your shoes back injury. Not to be confused with the you threw your back out sneezing back injury. Lucky for you, an Amazon One medical provider can help. And if it comes down to needing meds, Amazon Pharmacy will deliver them to your door. Of course, you have to get to the door.
.301 to go in this contest. Preston Spradlin and his troops at the James Madison end of the court. The Dukes are back home here on Saturday, 4 o'clock against the Mountaineers of App State. We'll keep Steve in town through the weekend.
I'll tell you what, JMU will want to try to get the taste of that game out of their mouth and get some revenge, because that just was a really bad showing. That was a 20-point blowout in Boone.
86-66. That game just unraveled late in the first half. Just a series of, well, a number of things happened. Didn't get 50-50 balls, a couple of bad decisions, turnovers. It all unraveled quickly, and App State rolled on to the win. App State at Old Dominion tonight.
35% shooting, not going to get it done.
Martin trying to work, and he does.
What a great shot. I mean, that's an NBA shot right there, and they don't go into the low post that often anymore, but he did that time, and great footwork to get that basket.
And using the glass the way it's designed to be. Also, way up high for Hutchins Everett. Gets it out to Brown. 11 on the shot clock. Brown had a little roll there for Hutchins Everett. Williams leans in. Ball comes out after bodies are on the floor, still on the floor, and there's the jump for the ball.
This was going to go to Marshall.
It does. Now that shot, Coach Spradlin wanted me to say this today,
which
was just a bit outside.
To honor the great
Bob Uecker.
Bob Uecker, who passed away.
If I didn't get it in the flow of the game, but try to do that as we lost an American baseball sports icon. We're fortunate we had him as long as we did in this century.
Yeah, he was terrific. Nate Martin is looking to take over this game and single-handedly get his team back in it, because they're clearly going to him, knowing the situation with Hutchins Everett, who just picks up another foul.
That is 4 on Hutchins Everett.
And the last time they played, Nate didn't do much in terms of scoring, only had 7 points. He did have 7 rebounds, but obviously Spear did the bulk of the scoring in that game with 27 points. But Nate Martin is looking to take control here, and he's got his team to within 6.
That game against Georgia Southern, his best game since November. Of course, he did not have Anachili Killen working with him, so he was carrying the load. And they're asking him to do it again here tonight.
Well, their defense has been much stepped up here in the second half, forcing JMU into some difficult shots.
Williams saw a slither of a lane. Eddie Ricks bumps.
A little short. Again, that's a very tough shot. Not a great one.
2-possession game. Ooh, Spear fortunate that his man Martin was right there. Launches a 3. It's way short, and a foul is called on Brown. That's the second on X.
And that's going to be 3 shots. The officials are looking to see if it in fact is a 3-point attempt. And I think on our replay you could see he pulled his foot back behind the line. And I'm pretty sure he's going to get 3 out of this. Yep.
Yep, right on the edge. But he was well behind. All you got to be is just an edge behind, right?
Yep. So they've got a chance now to cut this to 3, as JMU has really not done a very good job to get open jumpers, and they've taken some difficult shots. I say that, you got to give credit to Marshall, because their defense has really been stepped up in this second half, especially in the last 10 minutes.
You know what's amazing? They've done this, Steve, with only committing 3 fouls.
Yeah, it's been clean. Their defense has been good. Much difference and much improved than the first half.
Spear hits the first of 3. Banks the second. Has a chance at another deposit here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. Mark Freeman will come back in as Noah Williams ventures out for James Madison. Spear has one. 1:19 to go. Trying to make it a single possession game. And he does so. 17 for Spear after 27 a week ago, a career high. Freeman will bring the ball up against Nutter.
Well, Nutter's done a nice job in this game of forcing the Dukes to eat up some of that shot clock and then have to press to get a good look or get any look.
In most cases, they're not really getting it started till single digits on the shot clock. Freeman. Ricks.
Too strong.
Comes off Nutter. Marshall has a chance to tie the ball game. Spear with the ball in his hand. And time is called by Nutter.
Well, he got hit in the face.
I think he got hit in the nose possibly because just the way that he is acting.
I didn't see.
I didn't either.
It came off of a switch or a screen, but the young man obviously in pain.
Yeah, he ran over to the official and asked for a timeout, for an injury timeout. He's just having a hard time just even catching his breath here at the moment. Trainer out to see him. Chris LePole.
Well, this place has gone silent.
It has. So he runs right into Bryce Lindsay.
Man.
Three-pointer went up and it was off the mark. Up on his feet, and he'll get a round of applause here from the fans at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. He is a sophomore from Dublin, Ohio, Dublin-Jerome High School. Started the first 10 games. Had 3 steals in this ball game last week, and he will venture off.
Yeah, and he's, as I said, he's been really active in this game. He's done a nice job to put pressure on the JMU guards as they try to bring the ball over the half-court line. And we hope he's okay, and they're taking him to the locker room.
Jacob Gibbs will come in for Marshall, and the Dukes will send A.J. Smith back to the floor. So no Hutchins Everett out on the floor at the moment.
43 seconds to play in the second half, and as you said, Marshall with a chance to tie this game after trailing by as many as 16.
Jacob Gibbs with the basketball. Finds Dawson.
Wow.
Ricks defending, and Achille Killen takes the shot. Rebound. That's Ricks. 25 seconds to go and a foul, and they've got fouls to give. They can do that to set up defense. That's just foul number 4.
Fans behind me saying, hey, we got a long way to go to the bonus, ref.
So Marshall will switch out as Gibbs will head out. Caden White comes back in. He took the late shot in the first half. Comes in to Bryce Lindsay. He's fouled right away.
Marshall foul number 23.
3-point ball game.
Oh,
ball is
man.
deflected. Dawson comes up with it.
That's
Spear and Akila Chillin on the drive, floats it up, off the rim, no good. Rebound, pulled in. It's A.J. Smith, and he is fouled immediately by Dawson. 9.2 seconds to go. That is not going to send Smith to the free throw line.
No.
That is just 6. And timeout call by Preston Spradlin.
Yeah, well, give credit again to Marshall. That wasn't a great inbound pass by Xavier Brown. And they got the steal. They just couldn't get the basket.
Got the long arms up, a deflection. Came down with a basketball with an opportunity again to try to tie the score. They were going for the 2 with Akila Chillin driving in the lane.
So the next foul is going to send JMU to the free throw line for 1-and-1. And if they can get the ball in bounds, then you know Marshall's going to have to try to foul him.
Absolutely.
But if you're the Herd, you know, you go for the steal first. And the way they've been letting them play, especially at this point in the game, the officials are more hesitant to call a foul than they would be normally. So you don't want to make it an obvious foul. You want to go for the steal.
You're deep in you're defending the other end of the court here, so they can be aggressive.
Yes.
They can overplay it because you're not going to necessarily give it a free rein or free pass to the bucket.
Right. And with that end of the court, you can put all 5 guys down there and force some pressure. Force JMU to miscue on the inbound pass and then maybe get a steal. I mean, that's what you hope for. Eventually, you got a foul.
Now, that was a full timeout. Dukes have had 6 knockouts today, and what that is, 3 consecutive defensive stops. And this Marshall team came in as one of the top scoring teams in the Sun Belt.
So it's going to be Brown again to inbound, and as we said, all 5 Marshall defenders down here.
Brown gets it into A.J. Smith, and he is accosted quickly.
And isn't this fitting? It was A.J. Smith who last week was called for the foul that sent Marshall to the free throw line to effectively win the game. And now A.J. Smith will get his chance for revenge and give the Dukes what could be a 5-point lead.
1-and-1 situation for Smith today at the free throw line. He is 2 for 2 on the season. A 77% free throw shooter. This is a 1-and-1. Smith shot. Cans it. Big bucket right there, a 4-point spread. Coach Spradlin saying stay down defensively. Next shot comes up shy.
Don't foul on a 3-point attempt.
Spear has it. Spear launches. Spear goes down, and he scores the 3-pointer, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Just what they couldn't do. Foul on a 3-point attempt. Just get away from him.
3 points. Spear.
Oh, my. What a horrible mental mistake.
And what a great shot for Spear.
Oh, man.
And Coach Spradlin, as I said, before they went to the floor, he said, stay down, stay down. He didn't want them to leave their feet.
Stay down, just get away from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Let him shoot. Yeah. You don't get anywhere near the 3-point shooter.
So Spear, who just hit 3 consecutive free throws. And he misses. A.J. Smith with a rebound.
And he's fouled. How do you like that?
0.9 seconds.
How do you like that?
Boy, the ones that he made here at the opposite end a moment ago. Big difference. Spear beside himself after making such an incredible 3-point shot. Misses at the free throw line.
Yeah, his shot was unbelievable. I mean, but that's what he does. That's what he did the last game. That's what he just did. He's a fabulous three-point shooter. And he had guys all over him. He had 2 guys on him, contact after the shot. But here's the missed free throw.
Smith with the board. Hey, thanks to Brett Beecham, Sports Information Director at James Madison University for men's basketball. Cody Lynn, the basketball contact for the men at Marshall University, for their help and their information on their teams, helping us with a lot of info. And to our crew here today as well. Coming up for the Marshall Thundering Herd, they'll head on down south to Coastal Carolina for a game on Saturday. And then this actually is the first. They played 4 games at home. Now they got 4 on the road at Georgia State and Georgia Southern. So they'll have a rematch against Georgia Southern and then Georgia State again. And then Coastal again. Boy, they're all kind of bunched together. It's like series, baseball series.
Right. Both these teams have yet to win on the road. Both 0-6 on the road. Last time the Dukes started 0-6 was in 2006-2007. They finished that season 7-23. But for Marshall, they were hoping to get their first road win here tonight. And we still have, now they put some time back on the clock, 1.2. So you ask yourself the question, do you miss on purpose? Or do you make and try to play some defense and not foul?
This is a 1-and-1. Hits it.
Well, he's been huge from the free throw line. So same situation. He can give them a 3-point lead. Marshall could come back down and tie, and they're going to take a timeout.
Marshall going to use the timeout. And that is the final timeout for the Thundering Herd. And thanks Kelly Bowmaster, our producer today. John Hodges, our director. Ty Comer on replay. Sam Wolf on graphics. Chris Jackson, our audio technician today. And Daryl Atchison, our engineer. Saturday's game, a 4 o'clock start here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center, the Dukes and Mountaineers.
Those guys have earned their pay today, and there are going to be a lot of bumps and bruises on both these ball players tomorrow. And this has been one of the most physical games I've seen, and you kind of expect that because you got Hutchins Everett on one end, you got Nate Martin on the other. We talked about this in the show open. You knew it was going to be a battle between those guys in the paint. But the officials, you know, have decided to let them play in this game. It's been entertaining, but it has been physical. And we hope, you know, Ryan Nutter is okay.
I left the game just a little short while ago after getting hit in the nose. So A.J. Smith has a free throw pending. So make it a 3-point game.
Right. And, you know, if he makes it, then depending on where the ball comes inbounds, you clearly don't want to foul a 3-point shooter, but you don't want to give him a good look at a 3.
The shot is good.
And now Spradlin will take a timeout.
Give him a chance to set up his defense, because this was a similar situation last week where they had the ball at the opposite end. They found the open man in the corner, which at that time happened to be Cade Gibbs.
Except that this time, if you foul inside the 3-point line, you're okay because you got a 3-point lead. You cannot foul a 3-point shot attempt, and you try not to give them a decent look at a 3. So it really all depends on this inbound pass and where it lands and whether they get a decent shot up.
Well, Marshall has been involved in a lot of these last-minute contests. They lost to Troy in the closing seconds, and one of the things that Martin said in a post-game press conference, we've been in those circumstances, so we know how much time we've got to work with. Now, there's not a lot here at 1.2.
Right, and all the JMU defenders are back.
Well, that was he nearly passed it to him too soon.
That's close to 5 seconds. They didn't
there's
get it
the
off
horn.
in time.
And
so
that'll do it.
Tit for tat. A.J. Smith commits the foul in Huntington. A.J. Smith goes to the line and makes free throws at the end. I'm not sure what they're looking at here. I don't think that shot got off in time.
I don't think it did. I heard the horn before I saw him launch the basketball.
Absolutely. You could see that he didn't get it off. I'm not sure what they're checking.
Maybe just a courtesy, a question for that Coach Jackson wanted to take a look at it.
Well, I mean, what difference would it make? He missed the shot.
He did, yeah. He missed the shot. Absolutely.
So, I'm not sure what the officials are talking about now, but the three of them are caucusing.
Yeah, it should be a moot point. Like you said, he missed the shot, so it doesn't really matter.
Unless they called some kind of a foul before that shot attempt happened. The inbounds was very close to a 5-second violation.
Well, between that and Dawson, just barely. He almost caught the ball in bounds on the initial and then took it out. So that was just really tight.
I wouldn't mind seeing that again. I don't know. Are you saying that he jumped from the court to go out of bounds?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it was close. It was close.
Yeah. Well, that's something as a referee you got to be paying attention to as well. Just like a backcourt violation.
Wait. Well, here's the so throw in. One dribble.
Well, the clock's at 0.
I don't think there's any question.
What are they? I wish we could get an explanation because it doesn't look like this game is over. They put 0.6 of a second back on the clock. And who's got the ball?
Did they call a time? Here we go. So Michael will come over. Wallace. Okay. So what they're saying. All right. So on that play, I was saying it was very close. Well, it actually fooled the shot clock operator.
Right. They started it too quickly. Now you can catch and shoot here.
It comes all the way through.
Man, how did he get that off without the clock going off is what. That was the longest 0.9 of a second I've ever seen.
A lot of exhaling going on here.
He caught and took a dribble.
He did.
Wow. The Dukes survived despite some miscues at the end.
Marshall suffers its 7th consecutive road defeat. And James Madison gets a little payback in another closely contested game. And this one was
hard fought.
Hard, no doubt. It was a grind from the opening tap.
Yeah, that was a really entertaining game because you got two teams that went after it defensively. I mean, they were forcing bad shots on both sides. A lot of contact, a lot of physicality, a lot of guys banging inside, but the Dukes prevail thanks to A.J. Smith making some very timely free throws and Spear hitting that jumper, which was unbelievable. But this was a good game, two really good mid-major teams.
Yeah, Marshall ends up shooting 35.5% from the field, 27% on three-pointers. The Dukes 41%, 25% on trays. And it looks like we've got Coach Spradlin and Xavier Brown to chat with David Halvey.
Hi, Coach. Let's start with you. Obviously, that last stretch got wild. What'd you see from your team?
You know, I saw a good team in Marshall fighting all the way to the end, and I saw our guys learning through some crucial mistakes how to finish and follow instruction. But, you know, I'm glad we're able to learn this one with the win because we made just enough plays. And really proud of our guys, especially, you know, did a better job in the second half, rebounding the ball. We got back to sharing the basketball, playing as a team, making each other better. Those are the bright spots despite the last minute or so.
Obviously, last week, you played the same team. You took a tough loss. How big was it just to respond with a win?
It was really important. We you know, had a bad taste in our mouth, and we wanted that opportunity, and just so happened it came a week later, and proud of our guys for, you know, facing the mistakes that we made and correcting those and getting better in a hurry.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks.
X, for you, I mean, just ask Coach. That last stretch, Jalen Spear hits a big shot, but you stayed true to yourselves. You were able to defend in the last seconds. How big was it for you on the floor to finish this one out?
It was huge, like Coach said, they left a terrible taste in our mouth. Literally for me, I got a tooth knocked out and, just trying to be resilient, through all the tough times. And we're just one at a time. It's an uphill sledding for us right now, and we understand that. We got some home games. We got to take care of business.
Coach talked about avenging the loss of Marshall, but now you get a chance to avenge the loss of App State on Saturday. How do you take the momentum from tonight and move it into Saturday?
Just, by doing the same thing that we did, reciprocating it, just being consistent in what we do. I feel like that's the most important thing right now, just building consistency and building trust right now.
Thanks, appreciate you. Enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Go Dukes.
That might be one of the great quotes of all time. We had a bad taste in our mouth, and I had one literally because I got a tooth knocked out. It doesn't get any better than that.
Hey, that's Sunbelt basketball. How many people can lose some teeth in a contest? Xavier Brown and some of his fans here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. What a ball game, boy! This one is one that they need probably more than one day to recover from. I mean, it's a quick turnaround when you got a Saturday ball game for both of these, and of course, Marshall still trying to get one on the road. They'll have to go down to Conway to try to get one.
Luckily for JMU, they're at home. They can do what they have to do. But you heard Coach Spradlin say it. I mean, that's exactly what we were talking about. You come together, but you have to learn from your mistakes. And they made a mistake at the end of that game, fouling Spear. He said, they didn't follow instruction. Clearly, his instruction was get away from a three-point shooter. He can't hurt you if he makes a three. The last thing you can do is foul him. But they hung on. And again, A.J. Smith, huge at the free throw line in this game.
So there you see the final numbers, and James Madison today coming up with the victory as JMU improves to 10-8, snaps a short two-game losing streak, 8-1 here at home and 52-15 all-time here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. And the Dukes even their conference record to 3-3. Marshall's conference record goes to 3-3, and the Herd falls to 10-9. Thanks for watching tonight on ESPN Plus as we wrap this one up from the Atlantic Union Bank Center. For Steve Buckhans and David Holvey, I'm Kurt Dudley. Good night, everyone, from the Atlantic Union Bank Center with our final score. James Madison holds off Marshall 67-64. This has been a presentation by the JMU Sports Network for the Sunbelt Conference and ESPN Plus. Good night, everyone. See you Saturday.